and welcome back to S&B Monthly. I'm your co-host, Bekk.
And I'm Stephanie.
This being our S&B Monthly recap episode, do you want to quickly go over what books you read in November?
Yeah, so this month I read Divine Rivals, Cross My Heart, No One Rides for Free, and I DNF'd Force Bonds. I'll get into that later. What did you read?
Yeah, so I had a advanced reader copy of 120 Days. I also read Divine Rivals, and I read the entire Crown of Nyaxia series,
Yes.
which is The Serpent and Wings of Night, Six Scorched Roses, and The Ashes of the Star-Cursed King.
Awesome. Oh, which was your favorite out of those three?
Probably the first one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I'll get into it.
Yeah. I was just curious what your favorite was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
so firstly, let me absolutely thank the author Rose Richards for graciously providing me with the arc. It's my first arc, so I was very excited. It is called 120 Days. It follows the story of Skye Cook, who has a lot to be thankful for: a successful career, a cozy home, and most importantly, a loving son. She works hard to provide a stable life for herself and her child, but one afternoon, after falling asleep watching an anime, she wakes up in a strange and unfamiliar land. The people are friendly, and the culture and society is different than hers. She finds it hard to find anyone, though, can help to get her back. That is until she runs into Elias Crawford. So it's kind of like it's not necessarily just fantasy. It's like science fiction, kind of melded with like a contemporary romance.
Okay.
Yeah. I did find, like, for it being her first book ever,
Yeah.
I found the world building actually pretty decent. Like, you understood what was going on. There wasn't much of an overcomplication of like the history or the magic systems in the different islands and cultures. So it's like an islands community. Like, all these people live on different islands.
Okay.
The cultures made sense. The naming of different items didn't seem like too far-fetched. This is actually one of my like pet peeves that I'm going to get into with like the Crown of Nyaxia. Not that like the Crown of Nyaxia series was terrible by any means. I actually really enjoyed it, but fantasy can like be overcomplicated with its naming systems, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I think she did a pretty good job of like renaming things. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
The slow buildup of the romance was also like believable, and it gave, all the, how like you get the fuzzies in your chest or like the sinking gut feeling when things aren't going right. All of those were there, so that's great.
You're like reading it, smiling.
Yeah,
yeah,
just like kicking my feet.
Yeah.
And there's only one romance scene, but it was, my cup of tea. It was consensual, like very female forward.
Yeah.
My god. I sound selfish, but like that's like, I mean, I'm the one reading it, right? Like I want it to be.
Yeah, it's for you, so
right.
Yeah.
Some of what I didn't like what didn't necessarily work for me was some of the dialogue was a little clunky, but like, as a first time author, how do you make it like, flow?
Oh yeah.
Well,
it takes,
Yeah. There was a few characters that I didn't like, but that was like kind of the purpose of them. Like, you're not supposed to like them.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely would recommend the book. I believe it comes out on December 1st, which is the day after this episode comes out. So check it out. It is going to be on Kindle Unlimited. But yeah, it's like a science fiction contemporary romance with not too much science, I guess. Like there's
okay.
3.5 stars, which is very typical for me.
Yeah.
2 eye rolls and 2 spices.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. That's cool. Art copies are so cool. So I
know.
Yeah.
Well, and fun. It was on it was on the Kindle, which was actually really cool too.
Oh, that is cool.
So I just get to keep it forever in my Kindle library.
That's pretty cool. That
is really cool.
Yeah. So I read Cross My Heart by Roxy Sloan. It's a Here I go again with the dark academia.
I was
dark
gonna say, do we need to talk? Are you going through something? Or
I read one that, well, I loved Nocticadia, and I really liked Gothicana. So this one's kind of like meh. This one was wah wah, but
womp womp.
yeah, for me, I know there was this. Well, I'll get into it. So it was 294 pages, so not terribly long, pretty short. It seemed kind of long, but anyway. So the synopsis is Anthony St. Clair, the future Duke of Ashford, a reckless enigma and my greatest temptation. I came here on a mission to uncover the truth about what happened to my sister, no matter the cost, until I meet him. Saint is my passport to a sensual world of wealth and privilege, but something wicked is lurking behind these ivy-covered walls. Secrets these people will kill to protect. Loyalty is everything to them, but will it be my ruin? So what I liked is, and I hate repeating myself. I say this all the time. I like the story, the idea of the story.
The idea. Well, you wouldn't read it if it wasn't right.
And that's why I hate saying it all the time. Because it's like, obviously, I didn't like, this sounds like shit. I'm going to read it. Like,
you know what?
Yeah. So obviously, I like the idea. But I really did. And I thought it was going to be a little more, I thought it was going to be better, I guess. That sounds so bad. Just not a lot of people like it.
That's good. That's that's why we're here.
Yeah, and that's great. Anyways, the spice was well written. I will say she was good with that. Like writing the spice, I was like, oh. So that was a nice part of the book. So I'll say the first half of the book was pretty good. I don't want to be like brutal here. It was good. I was into it. The storyline was intriguing and I wanted to know what was going to happen. And if our FMC was going to like get some answers about her sister, because that's kind of the whole point of the story. So what I disliked, it was pretty predictable as far as like, oh, they have something to do with that. I don't want to give anything away, but it's predictable. Like you're reading and you're like, well, clearly, I don't want to give anything away. You could see what's going on. You could put the pieces together for the most part. I wasn't expecting to get mind blown by any means. So there's this TikTok, and it says something about a girl at like a masquerade ball, and then she sees her professor, and they're wearing masks, and he comes up to her, blah blah. It's like a commercial or an ad or whatever. Not really an ad, but it's for this book. It's one of those like things, like aesthetic things kind of. And that's why, I mean, I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. So I kind of knew what I was getting into. I knew there was going to be a lot of spice. But the plot seemed pretty good too, because I like looked it up and I'm like, oh, that actually seems interesting. So I gave it a go. Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know if like, because I've noticed this recently with me. I don't know if fantasy and like slow burn romance changed my brain chemistry or something, but like
maybe.
I was so annoyed with the female main character, and I can usually shrug a lot of that off. I could just, and I know it's like a spicy book, but I get more annoyed now than I used to with the females in these books. And that maybe it's just the books I've been reading lately, or maybe it's because I got into another genre and I'm more into that than this. I don't know. But she kept the beginning of the book, she's like, nothing's going to get in the way. I'm going to Oxford. She pulled all these strings and did all this shit to get into that school because she wasn't as smart as her sister, but she ends up pulling it off and getting there. And all of this is for her. And I mean, it does not take much for her to like fall in lust with old boy. And
he's a professor.
Yeah. And she's okay. So she's grown. She's like a graduate student, and she's there for a year for some kind of study thing. I don't know college things, but yeah. So she's not like young. She's not like a teen or anything like that. She's in her 20s, and so is he. Like it's not even a big age gap or nothing like that. But she
yeah, but there's still that like power dynamic, right?
Oh,
which is kind of icky.
Yeah, it is. She just, the whole beginning of the book, it's just my sister, and I mean clearly it's going to go there because it's a romance, but it was very quick. I was like, you did all this and you're like done. Like, oh my God. Like it was, I don't know. To
He's
me.
the love of my life.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not love.
Oh.
I mean, they're getting there, I guess. But it's a lot of spice.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, the first half of the book, like despite the eye rolls, I was intrigued and I really wanted to know what was going on. And there was a lot of clues because you don't actually get you don't get an answer to the big question, right? But she knew where to look, but that wasn't enough for anything to come to fruition. So it does end on a cliffhanger because there's at least 2 more books coming out.
Oh.
It's a no. Like I was bored.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was like, okay. And I was getting closer and closer to the end, and I'm like, it's not gonna tell me anything.
Right.
Like the whole friggin' point.
You're like, I have 5 more pages. Where is this?
Yeah. And like, I know why, because, you have to read the next one, but I don't want to. So my recommendation.
Is it trilogy of 1 again?
It's another trilogy of 1 for me.
Oh.
A lot of I know, it's not good. It's not going good for me.
I mean, no, I give you props because like, why torture yourself if you're not vibing with it? You know what I mean? Like, you might as well just stop.
I know, but I know. And that's why I give it 2.5 stars, which is because I did want to know what was going to happen, but not enough to where I will continue reading the series. It was enough to finish the book, but when I didn't get my answer by then, I was done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my recommendation's a no, and mainly because there's other spicy dark academia books, if that's your thing, I really enjoyed. Nocticadia being like number 1, Gothicana being number 2. Mm-hmm. Those 2 I really enjoyed. They were good.
So
yeah,
if you don't care about spice, but you like the puzzles and like the trying to like figure out the mystery, would recommend what is it called?
That one you read, huh?
The Hawthorne Legacy or whatever.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that one.
Oh my God, it's not on Kindle Unlimited, but it does give you that like dark academia vibes because they are like in like what is it called, like a private school, like and then like you get that like old money feeling, which is I guess like popular with dark academia.
Yeah, always is.
And like the female main character isn't like she doesn't go back on her ideals whatsoever, which is always nice.
Yes. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a way to write like when you're emotionally like flip-flopping, like oh my God, I really like this guy, but like I need to figure out like there's ways to write that without just being like I'm gonna fuck him.
Right. Yeah. It was
and I'm not an author by any means, but like
no,
I've read a lot of books at this point.
Yeah, like this just I don't know, it just wasn't. I've just read better, you know, in my opinion. So you know, but I gave it 2.5 stars, 4 eye rolls.
That's almost 5.
She drove me nuts. And 3.5 spice, I'd say. I can't really remember exactly, but there's quite a bit. So it wasn't like 5, but there was a lot of spice.
Our like Kindle Unlimited assignments.
No.
It's just
no, it's not quite there yet. Or this one anyways. No, I hate being so harsh. A lot of people do like the book, so you know, you might love it. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah. And yeah, it just wasn't my thing. So now we're going to talk about Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross.
Yes, it is a historical romantasy. It is 357 pages. It is also on Kindle Unlimited. Iris Winnow is 18 and tired of war. The gods have awakened after centuries of slumber and are wreaking havoc on the world. Her mother is struggling with addiction and her brother is fighting among the front lines. Her only hope is to become a columnist at the Oath Gazette, the most prestigious newspaper in the city. To cope with her fears, Iris writes letters to her brother and hides them under her wardrobe door, where they disappear into the hands of Roman Kit, her aloof and attractive competitor at the paper. He replies to Iris anonymously, and they start correspondence that will change Iris's life, unbeknownst to her.
Oh.
So, I thought that the writing style was amazing. Our girl Rebecca here, she can write. There was some of the parts were like so well written and with so much emotion that they're like almost moving. And I personally really liked the aesthetic. It was supposed to be like a World War I setting with like fantastical elements. The story had a nice flow. Each scene made sense in respect to the previous scene. The action sequences were exciting, and I felt that I was like in there with them. I don't want to give anything away, but like,
yeah,
right next to them, basically.
Right.
I did fall in love with Mr. Roman Kit. He was a good male main character. He has all the, sweet and nice but badass. I did see like on Goodreads that a lot of people felt like the letters were a little cringe, but maybe I am the cringe because I kind of liked them.
Oh,
you did not. I'm guessing
it's cute. They're cute. They're young. I can see the. I get it. I get it. I get why she was. I don't know. It wasn't my thing.
You didn't like anything about it?
No, I did. I liked, like you said, I kind of wrote almost the same thing. I said there's no denying the girl can write. She's really good at evoking like emotion with her words. There was times like I was getting really sad. Like really sad about certain things I was reading, and I'm like, dang, like I haven't like broken down, and I didn't break down this, but I mean, I got like teary-eyed, and that's never happened to me reading, so that was pretty intense. It's like poetry, right? Her writing is just, it's gorgeous, and there's no denying that. And yeah, the letters were a bit corny, but it's romance, and like, what is romance without a little corn? I mean, it's not to say I wasn't like smiling reading it, like we were saying, like so cute.
Kicking my legs.
It was adorable, but
yeah,
I did like reading and like almost watching their relationship blossom from what it started to what it became, and how it was a cool concept. Yes. So I didn't dislike it. It's just
you and your concepts.
I'll get into my dislike. So what did you not like about it?
Yes. So it did drag a lot in many points. Like 357 pages really isn't that long, but it did feel excruciating long. Like like I had to like, oh, okay, I need to finish this because it's the book. It's the book club book. I need to sit down and actually finish some of this. And then it, especially when like the characters themselves lacked depth. Like I don't know how to explain this other than like depth isn't trauma. Like all of the traumatic things that happen to Iris or Roman, like that's not character development. That's not like personality. That's just terrible things that happen to you.
Yeah, a look into their past more than like
right.
Yeah,
like Roman loves summer because it's when baseball happens. Like, that's such a basic level character.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and maybe they were just like too young too. You know what I mean? Like maybe like she's 18, 19.
Yeah, I think she's 19.
Yeah, that's
I can't remember. They're babies. They're teens.
They're babies. Yeah, like no way.
Yeah.
And I think personally I would have liked more of the mythology behind like the gods and like why the war was happening. And it might happen in book 2, but it's not it's not something that I'm like looking forward to. And especially like depending on how long it is, like I'm gonna look at those pages, that page count, and be like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You'll listen to it, maybe.
Yeah.
So for me, there are fantasy elements, but like no detail
Mm-hmm.
and a lack of world building in general. And not that she doesn't, like I said, I was talking to you about the book earlier, she definitely, like, I know where I am and I can see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as far as like the world as a whole, I mean, that's some of my favorite things about
like,
fantasy.
are we
is like
on Earth or?
Yeah, it seemed very much so, obviously, but like still there's gods and stuff. Like, I want to know more about this. Like, tell me about this. So for it to be considered like in the fantasy, well, romantic fantasy, it lacks some of the elements that I love most about fantasy, but that might be a good thing because it did seem to drag. And if she were to, I'm sure she could do it. It's so weird that it dragged because her writing is great,
Mm-hmm.
but I was getting bored, and I'm like, and it's not to knock her skills because I'm not doing that. She is a beautiful writer. I honestly think it just wasn't my thing. I think that's all it was. It just didn't do it for me.
It didn't resonate with you?
No, it didn't. And I would recommend it if you hear what it's about and that sounds like something you would enjoy. She can write beautifully. It's just, it wasn't, I don't know what it was. It just didn't do it. I didn't really, I don't want to say I didn't care what happened to the characters because I did to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
When it was over, I was good. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read the other ones.
Yeah.
And it's no knock. I don't want to sound like, because she is a good author. Excellent author. She can write. Just like I said, really wasn't my thing. So what's your overall rating for the book and recommendation? In
true me sense, I rated it 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
2 eye rolls and just the 1 spice. I think like there's only like a hint of like something happening. I don't think it's like overtly explicit, if I can remember correctly.
It's like paprika.
Yeah.
Dusting.
Just a little Old Bay.
Yeah. Just a bit of Old Bay. I gave it 3 stars and 1 eye roll. Yeah.
And again, would recommend. It's just not necessarily like if the more like contemporary, not necessarily contemporary because that means like the 20th century, but like more of like a World War I-II setting, like 1900s, gives you the feelings or the vibe, then go for it.
Yeah. And it, like I said, I hate, it's nothing against the author. She wrote the book beautifully. It's just,
no, I just wanted gowns and swords and elves.
Yeah. Where was that? No, I'm just playing.
And vampires, which apparently is a thing for me now. Thank you.
God. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's such a good book.
I'm actually not mad. Like at all.
Yes. No.
So, announcement break.
Yes.
We did just want to notify, it's not like a huge announcement by any, well, I guess it kind of is. But we just wanted to notify our listeners first that we will be giving away some books to be hosted on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It will be starting on the 14th of December, going till the 25th. I think we were talking about it, that we're going to give away, on the 24th, I was going to give away the Bridgerton series. On the 25th, you were going to give away the Devil's Night series.
Yes.
And then each day up to that point will be one book that it has been on our shelves. Maybe a few stickers and like tea bag, maybe, to stay on brand. I figured out a way to like post it in the morning and then winter at night. So it'll all be concluded on the 25th. Now, if we actually get them sent out in that time frame, that's another story. But we will do our best.
Yeah, we will. We will do our best. But yeah, some pretty good books that we are going to be giving away. So we look forward to everyone entering because it's going to be a fun time. We're excited for it. So it'll be a lot
absolutely.
Of fun. Yeah.
It'll be a fun tradition to keep up to.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I get to get rid of some and give them to you guys, and then you guys can pass them on too. So it's super fun. I love books. That's why they're so fun.
I love books.
I like to read. Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into No One Rides for Free by Judith Sonnet. It is splatter punk genre, and it's 76 disgusting pages. I will say to check triggers. I'm not gonna read them all.
No way.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It almost got me to my limit. Almost.
Oh, talking about which.
Yes.
Side note, there is a guy that DM'd us on TikTok that wrote a book that is on Kindle Unlimited. I think you should read it.
Yes. I will. I will look at that. Definitely. Yeah, there was another guy who like commented on the TikTok I made about this book, and then I messaged him and he's been giving me all these recommendations. Oh man. So I'm gonna read like one a month, and then if it becomes too much, I'll take a break. But
yeah,
I'm good right now. So
that might be something fun to talk about, like on our January episodes of Thirsty, like what our like intentions are going forward. But like,
yeah,
we're very much vibe readers, so who knows?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, I don't like to have like I try to schedule out my reads a little bit better, but I don't always go off of it because it's like, well, I don't feel like that right now. So, like the vibe reading, like you said. So, yeah. But anyways, so the synopsis of this book is, again, check triggers. Don't just go reading this. It is on Kindle Unlimited, but it's only 76 pages, but oof. Anyways, Jody was driving her children to college when the man got in their car. Uninvited, unwanted, and unhinged. The man has no name, but he does have a gun, a knife, and a bag of toys. What starts as a forced ride into the desert escalates into a disturbing series of crimes and assaults. Jody and her children will soon pray for death. This novella is incredibly disturbing. It features graphic scenes of sexual violence, torture, and gore. It is not intended for easily offended readers.
And this is a female author.
Yes.
Oh.
I know it. So, much like the slob, I'm not going to go into like, this is what I liked and blah, 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 because it's just weird talking about it like that. I will say that the slob was better. So this is 76 pages. Very short. The beginning is kind of pointless. So there's a lot of talk about the mom's sex life and like her wanting to like have a fling with the clerk at the gas station, but her kids are in the car, but maybe on the way home. And I'm like, why is this even?
Why?
It was not necessary for the book. There was no reason to have like
something like that. Yeah.
It was kind of stupid. Like I was like, where is this going? So that was nonsense. But the part the way they introduced the villain was damn good. I was like, oh shit. Like the way they introduced him. That was a good introduction, but then the rest of the book was just but I will write a review with spoilers on Goodreads. I don't know how many people listen to this read Splatterpunk. Just in case, I'm still not gonna give spoilers, but I do plan on writing a review on Goodreads, and I'll put like spoilers below or whatever, and I'll kind of give detail into what happens. Not detail, I can't, but I will let you know what happens. If you want to know but don't want to read it, but I can't get into too much detail. I'm not gonna write those words. That's how bad it is. The book is grotesque. I was close to my limit. Not my limit as far as not reading it, but it was not as bad as, here I go back to Dead Inside. That was the worst.
We're going to like create a scale for you of like Dead Inside to like puppies.
Yeah. From Disney to Dead Inside.
Yeah.
No, but this was very close. Okay. This was, right underneath it. I mean, it was almost there because it was pretty nasty. It is a short story. I really didn't expect like a great amount of plot or anything, but there was literally like none. And I did read, Brandon Baker reads on TikTok.
Yeah,
I love him. I have him I follow him on Goodreads as well, and he was the one who said that she wrote this book in like 10 days.
Oh.
I don't know if it was like a challenge or something, but she wrote it. She did everything in 10 days. Wrote it, edited it, published it, did all the things in a 10-day period. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. there was just no plot, and I like a little. So
sometimes I think it's too easy to get onto the Kindle Unlimited platform.
Yeah, I could write a 76-page book that's just utterly disgusting with no plot. That's, to me, that's not. Yeah. Now, I haven't read her other books, so she may be really good, but this was not it. But maybe it was some kind of like challenge. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, but for recommending it, if you are a splatterpunk fan, no, because I personally like some plot. So if you are there for just pure gore, then yeah, sure, because that's all you're going to get out of it. Like even the slob has plot, and you get connected to the character, and almost makes it almost worse in a sense, because you have a connection with her, but
right,
it's just hard for me to just read just gross for 70 pages. Probably 6 weren't, because there's like a trigger warning after like the first chapter, and it's 2 pages, and it says it's 2 pages long, and then it says just remember, this is only a book, this is only a book, this is only a book. And it's talking about how, like, do not read this if you can't handle, because it's pretty brutal and gross and nasty, but no plot. So keep that in mind if you're a splatterpunk fan, but you like some plot like me, don't read it. But if you just want just gross, then have at it, you'll love it. I guess 1 star. I finished it. I don't know. 3 eye rolls, and once again, like, I'm not going to give it chili peppers, but just check your triggers. There is extreme non-consensual sexual content.
No, thank you.
It's not. Don't read it if you can't. So yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I would say if you want to read gore, or you're into that, the slob would, and that has it too, but not as bad. This one's pretty. So yeah. Anyways, that's what it is. It's
interesting to recommend one splatterpunk over another.
I know, and it's just I don't know. I can't explain it. You don't need to find out.
No. That's okay. That's why I have you, is because you're willing to read 70 pages of gross.
Yeah.
Oh my god, ew. Why? And I'm not gonna lie, I am a little like, I get that like, what is it called when you're like morbidly curious?
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
I have
where
it
I'm
bad.
like, I kind of want to know, but like not to an extent of like I'm actually going to read it.
You'll regret. You wouldn't like it.
Like I did read like the Wikipedia page for 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah.
And that, like, just reading the Wikipedia page, like, put me over. So I was like, oh my god.
Well, that's why I say a good introduction to, it's not splatterpunk, because I want you to read it. Brother is so good. Now, if you read Brother, and not you, I know you, but I'm talking about, like, our listeners. Like, if you read Brother and you're like, this is a little mild, I'd like a little more. Okay. Then you're dabbling into splatterpunk, because it's not quite. And Anya Alborn's writes so well that even for its like parts in it where you're like, woof, like it's just a great effing book. Like I love that book. But
is it still on Kindle Unlimited?
Yeah, as far as I know, you need to read it. It's so good. But it's eventually. Not. You could read it. You could read that, and you could read The Troop. That and The Troop aren't bad. Like listen to it or whatever if you get a chance, because they're not bad.
I think that's like the difference between you and I, is that I prefer like more of like psychological or like paranormal horror, where you kind of like the body horror.
I do.
Not like it, but
yeah, I read it.
Right.
I don't know why. There's something wrong with me. I don't know why. I mean, I like psychological stuff too, but yeah. I want to read like Dark Matter's one that is a psychological horror I've been putting off, but I really want to read. But yeah, I do. I don't know what it is about the splatterpunk genre. I remember I gave it a whirl and I'm like, maybe this will be too much, but then I keep doing it. And it is morbid curiosity. I mean, that's purely what it is. Like how far can this person's like brain go? And then you find
Or
out.
mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you have a good imagination, it makes them all the worse. But anyways, so I'm excited for what you're going to talk about next.
Yeah, so now for the series that Stephanie likes so much, she spent 2 episodes talking about.
Obsessed.
I know. Our very first Thirsty episode, you talked about it, and then our July, August S&B monthly episode, you talked about it too. So I finally caved in. Well, not really caved in. I knew it was like on my TBR for a while. I just, had to get to it. I don't know what took me so long, but
it's a long series to commit to.
665 pages for the last one. Yeah. Okay, so it is the Crowns of Nyaxia series. The first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Obviously, oh my god, that one was 532 pages. There is a 1.5, which is 6 Scorched Roses. That one is 187 pages. It can be read as a standalone, but the characters are not like very important, but they are like side characters. And the next one, which is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, which is 665 pages.
Yeah, it's long.
It was.
I was so into it.
So I was like, oh my god, I didn't read enough this time around, because like the series I'm just going to talk about like as one topic, because I don't want to like give anything away. And then I was like, oh, actually,
it's over 1,000 pages.
That is over 1,000 pages.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And okay, so I think part of my like hesitation with reading it is the synopsis. It kind of makes it seem stuffier than it actually is. So, okay, the synopsis is Araya is human in a world of vampires. Adopted by the Nightborn King, she has learned to survive among predators. But she wants more than that. She wants to prove herself in the Kajari, a legendary tournament hosted by the goddess of death. The Kajari is a brutal contest of strength and skill where only the best warriors from the 3 vampire houses can compete. Araya has no allies except for one, which, that's a lie. Ray, a mysterious and dangerous vampire who is her biggest rival. He belongs to a different house, a different bloodline, and a different enemy. But he also understands her better than anyone. Araya and Rain are drawn to each other despite the risks and the secrets, where their forbidden attraction could be their undoing as the war of the House of Night looms over them. In a kingdom where love is the deadliest weapon, Araya must choose between her heart and her destiny, which is also not necessarily true. So I think that's what like threw me off of like, again, that's a hesitation that I had with reading it, is that it seems very how do you say it? Like, I don't know, like the Kajari, like this like big contest tournament is going to be like,
oh, like battle.
Yeah, like sports.
Yeah, sport. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
And like it also made it seem like Araya is like a typical female main character where like she insta loves this dude and like she's willing to risk everything for him, and that's not the case either. She is very again very strict with her ideals until things happen that make her think back on it.
I liked her though. I liked her.
Yeah, she was nearly perfect to me. Like she was very like headstrong. Like she understood who she was in this world and why she was there. And I don't know. Like I felt like she was a very strong female main character personally. The showing and not telling, which I think comes from our earlier in the book club book. The showing of the mythology instead of like just dumping it out on a page. Where like she explained it in a way that like it intertwined with the story, not necessarily like I read a book about the gods and it blah 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 blah. No, like the Nyaxia told me that you know what I mean?
You were there.
Yeah, I was there, and like
Mhm.
it was explained as we went instead of like, nope,
Oh yeah.
dump on page 1, you know?
Yeah. No, it's yeah, it's not too much information at one time where it's like you have to you kind of learn as you go,
Right.
but that works for the story.
And you don't feel like dumb for not knowing it either, you know what I mean? Like it just it
No,
comes
yeah.
with
Yeah.
The very difficult decisions that both characters have to make and the conflict of emotions that happen within those decisions was very well done. I felt like not Rain isn't human, but like he does have like a very human way of like processing emotions and decisions.
Yes.
That was great.
For good reason too.
And the slow burn
I loved it.
So good.
Yes. Yes, it was good.
Like it wasn't like ever like if the spicy scenes weren't in this book, I still would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it was like it added to the story instead of like, oh, they're fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because sometimes once they hook up, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's just like
you're
3 sex scenes in a row.
at that point. Yeah. And then you're like, well, they got together, so on to the next book. No.
Right.
No.
This is where, yeah. But yeah, like, it definitely like, it was a good payoff.
Yeah.
And the sexy scene, again, has the amazing, consensual, like female forward, also with them being, I'm blushing, hold on. With them being vampires and there being blood, oh, I try so hard to be so serious with the topics.
Are your eyes watering?
My cheeks are so red. Insert bloodied NHL player here, and like I guess vampires are where I'm going with my spicy now.
Well, you liked Vincent, didn't you?
So I don't know where it happened, but I think vampires ruined like the idea of like at first I didn't think he was, I'm probably gonna give something away.
Oh,
never mind.
Okay.
But I did like Vincent, like the blonde hair and the like just the pristine and just very I thought more was gonna happen with Vincent. Like, okay,
yeah,
I would love to have Vincent's story. If she's going to make more of the Nyaxia series, I think
that would be good.
Right?
Yeah. He's so like regal and powerful and just the way he carries himself.
Yeah, he's very like structured and like serious.
Yeah.
And I just want to break him.
Oh. Straight up. Yes.
See him disheveled.
Yeah.
Which I guess kind of happens in Six Scorched Roses a little bit. So I guess I did get it a little bit in that one. But aside from like what I did like, what I dislike and what my like pet peeves are definitely like a me thing. And it shouldn't like matter to anybody else unless you're 5'9" and have been a big girl your entire life. But the like, oh, he's so much bigger than me, and I had to tilt my head up to look him in the eyes, and all like, if you're that tiny, you can't actually do the badass things that like you're saying you're doing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't like I'm so widow and I'm so badass. I'm so cool and so small. But that, she probably didn't mean it that way. It's just kind of like,
no, I know, because
how I read into it.
It is a theme that you see over and over again. Like,
yes, almost constantly. And it's like, if you're actually gonna participate in like this like blood brawl, I don't think a 5-foot girl is gonna be able to like hold her weight. Unfortunately,
No, yeah,
especially
yeah.
against like what he's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Like no
Vampires.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like a critique on fantasy, not just this series, but like fantasy as a spectrum. I don't it feels like sometimes the words are just like keyboard mashed. Like they didn't actually like put any, and this I could be completely wrong. She probably may have like put a lot of thought into the naming of things, but like
yeah.
Hiaj and Rishon and Kajari all seem very like
Made up.
Like fantasy enough sounding that like it could pass, but not like
yeah.
So I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, I think that's probably where like maybe my like my critique came from. But like a lot of the names or like the places or what happens is definitely rooted in some sort of like mythology or folklore or
right.
even like the
Lord of the Rings somewhere
is like Welsh or Norse or whatever. But this, it just seems like, oh, this seems exotic. Let's just
put these letters together. Yeah.
You know what? Everything should have a J in it. That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But again, very much me things. If you don't mind these things, go for it. 10 out of 10 would recommend this. I gave it 4 stars, 2 spice, 1 eye roll for the things that I mentioned, but that's again just me.
Yeah. I love that damn series so much.
Oh, I know. That's what got you into fantasy in the first place.
Yeah, I even liked the 6 Scorched Roses. It was short, and I loved it. And I thought it was written so well for it being so short. It was so entertaining. Like,
she also writes. I don't know how to say this in like a politically correct way, but it feels like her female main characters have autism. Almost because of like how like socially inept they are, no social cues, but like it's refreshing to see that done in like a way that isn't negative.
Right.
They are the way that they are, and like obviously there's little jabs, but like they're accepted that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna read more of her stuff too eventually because I liked her style. For sure. Yeah. I'm so glad you finally read it.
No, I know.
I loved it so much. I just thought, I remember reading the synopsis for me. I thought it sounded a little like juvenile, like, oh, vampires. It was so good.
Kind of like Twilight Hunger Games, almost.
Yeah. But it's more adult than, because Twilight's very, I don't know. I didn't read the books. I don't know. I just saw the movies. Not? And the movies were awful. So no, never read the books.
So I loved the books when I was in high school. That was my jam. Like I like was excited to like, I think the last one didn't come out until like I had read the rest. So I was like really excited about the last one to come out.
Yeah. And I know you like walked out on the movie with your friend, didn't you?
Yeah. So we were so hyped. Like, best soundtrack ever. We listened to that shit on repeat in the college dorm rooms. Like, hell yeah. And then when it came to the actual movie, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I heard that, but like I've only seen the movies, so I will. I just watch it and I'm like, this is a no.
But looking back,
but the books may be good, but I think they're for a younger audience.
Yes.
I mean, in high school, I probably would have been. I think I was already grown when these all came out, but if I would have gotten a hold of something like that in high school, I'm sure I would have been like all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking that, and I only have I can only judge Twilight by the movies. So there you go. But then it's so good. I don't know. I loved it. Anyways, so another fantasy series I was reading was called The Ties That Bond series.
I remember this.
They're so long. I was reading Forspange, which is book number 4, and something happened that made me DNF it immediately.
I am so curious, but I will ask you afterwards.
Yeah, I don't want to give out any spoilers. But I was really annoyed and angry, and please know that this is kind of a hissy fit on my part because something didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And it literally pissed me off to the point I was done. Patty, you? Yeah, it was. But so what happened, and I'm not going to give it away, but there's no possible way that this particular event could be redeemed. That's all I can say. There's no way to make it better.
So this is the book
I can't like continue reading and then it's okay. No, it'll never be okay, and I'm done. I literally got so mad. I put the book down. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. I wasted all this fucking time. I read these 4 goddamn books. I was so pissed. And that's very vague.
I talked about it on the podcast.
I will put it on my spoiler full review. That will be on Goodreads soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do all that soon, this week at some point. But it was kind of a hissy fit. I was like, oh no. I got so mad. I literally was done. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm not finishing. I was so pissed. I even had to tell Adam how mad I was. He doesn't even know what I'm reading. He doesn't know what bonds. He doesn't know. I was like, I had to stop reading the book because it was so stupid. Something happened. I didn't want it to happen. And he's like, okay, okay. And I'm like, no. I was so pissed.
No, you don't understand.
You don't get it. But, yeah. So, I'll tell you after
please,
happened. Yeah.
So this is the books, that are like, she like ran away and she has 4 bonds and whatever, right?
5. Yeah.
5. And one of them's an asshole. Okay.
And they're all cliffhangers. I don't even care anymore. I literally got so that's never happened to me. I was like, I'm fucking done with it. Put it down. I usually will like, oh, I gotta finish it. Nope. I'm so pissed. So dumb.
You know how long I've been wanting to like have DNF as a topic for Thirsty, and you have yet to DNF a book.
I've DNF'd 3.
3 now? Okay.
No,
we can
2.
Two.
Because I DNF 2. 2? Let me look. I have a DNF folder on my Goodreads.
Goodreads, me too.
Oh, there's 3 in it because one of them I just threw in there because I couldn't get through the first one.
Yeah, so why?
Yeah.
Why even try?
No. Oh, I'm so mad. I'll tell you. Rated 4.26. Fuck you. That was no. I'm so mad. So mad. And these are all like 500-page books.
Yeah, so you were so invested.
I spent so much time, and then I was, oh my god, so much time wasted. Anyways,
I'm so happy that you get hissy fits too, because I can rant.
I threw a fit.
I was you know
in bed, like, oh my god, like mad.
It's so frustrating too, because like you try to explain it, like I tried to explain Verity to Jeff. I was like, oh my god, it's. And he's like, I don't like. I'm not gonna read this, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm like, can you
listen and pretend?
Pretend for 5 minutes that you are upset with this as much as I am.
Yep. I know, because I'll tell Adam, and he's just looking at me like,
and
he's like, it's like, and don't you dare say it's just a book. Like, don't you say it.
It's just a video game.
Because I see you playing your games. He's playing some evil Pinocchio game right now. What? Yeah. And he's getting really, it's like the Dark Souls dude.
Oh.
Has some kind of Pinocchio game.
Okay.
Lies of P.
Nerd.
That's my man.
That's
so
okay.
Anyways.
Mine's back on WoW, so that's fun.
Ooh. Exciting. World of Warcraft.
Yep.
What did we do?
His entire room.
But you know what, though? We wouldn't have known each other.
That's true.
So.
I'm just going to call you next time.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 11 a.m.
That's okay. You can call me. And I'll call you next time.
You cannot. Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah. I that was my first hissy fit, like full on pissed. But
Like you actually like throw the book.
I wanted to. It was my Kindle.
Oh,
or else I would have. But I'm not throwing that.
Nope.
So,
I don't even take it in the bath with me.
Nope. Anyways, so right now I'm reading Master of Salt and Bones by Carrie Lake. Just started it because I just finished my KU assignment, which was super fun. You guys got to check out Thirsty to hear about that one.
Oh my god.
It was pretty fun.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was really funny. Oh, funny story about it, actually. So I was like, I need to read this a few days ago. And I'm looking through my Goodreads TBR and I can't find it. And I'm like, I know I added it. So I'm like going back through our podcast because I'm like, oh shit, I forget the name of it. And it's what is it again? Now I can't. Her Alien Ghost or something. And
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and let me see. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Her Alien Ghost. So I'm like, I could have sworn I added it. So I go to my TBR and it sure was there. I was looking for a picture because every book I've been given for my Kindle assignments have been like super corny cover.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking for like the corny like beast hugging the girl, and it was candles. It's just candles. So I'm like, oh there it is. So it was kind of funny. But sorry. But yeah, it was funny.
Do you have the ad-free version of your Kindle, or do you get ads on your Kindle?
I do not get ads.
Oh, so it's the cover?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes our Kindle Unlimited our KU Cringe, I guess we renamed it, that much more exciting because it's just out there.
Yeah.
My husband can look at it and be like, excuse?
Yeah, what?
What this?
Don't worry about that.
Nope.
Don't worry about
Except I was trying to explain Squeak to him.
Because today was that today because you're present?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a lot of presents, by the way. But he's like, can you get on with it because I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm like, no, Jeff. They're balloon animals, and you know how balloon animals you can twist into different shapes? He's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, well,
guess what?
Penis. And he's like, why? And then he just walked away. I'm like, how do you not find that the most hilarious thing in the entire world? Like, who would do that?
I saw a balloon animal and I had to get it for you.
Yeah, I need to make a sticker about that.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. It's like an inside joke now.
I know. It's terrible.
My god. So what are you reading at the moment?
So talking about gifts. My friend Lauren.
Oh, yeah.
She sent us, I should say. I might send it along to you as soon as I'm done reading it. It's called Wildfire. It says a Maple Hills novel. I don't know what that means. It is by Hannah Grace, and I have the physical copy, which is 383 pages.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what I'm reading. She also sent me a cool book review binder kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's like Trapper Keeper. Really cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love giving gifts.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Oh, my sister Melissa, the one that sent me the shirt, she also sent me tea, like tea bags, which is called Novelty, which is
there it is.
There it is. There she is. That have like little book like on the tea tag. It has like little like quotes and stuff. So it's really cute and fun.
That's super cute.
So the one I'm reading right now the one I'm drinking right now, it says, if you believe everything you read, better not read. So that's so cute.
That's cool. That's
I know. So thank you everybody for all of the fun gifts. Sorry, Stephanie.
Yeah, you know.
I'll send a book along to you. Kidding. You'll be here in January, so
I will. Well, December actually, because we leave the end of December to come visit. Yay! I'm so excited for that,
and we're gonna see my boyfriend.
Yes. So oh my god. Yeah, we get to go to a game.
I know.
It's super exciting. Anyway, so December's book club book is going to be The Silent Patient by Alex. Is that Michaelides?
Michael Lides. Yeah, looks like
Michael
that
Lides?
looks right to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to like. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a little bit like burnt out on romance as like the book club. Like, I also read romance books, but like as the book club book. We also wanted to like be able to
something
like
different.
If like our book choices so far have not gotten your fancy, maybe this one will. It also is very popular on Book Talk, so we'll be the judge of if it should be popular or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that will be on the website. I will also post it to the socials, probably on December 1st. Is there anything else you had?
Nope.
All
That's
right.
it.
There you have it, folks. What we read in November was Divine Rivals, Cross My Heart, No One Writes for Free, Forced Bonds, kind of, 120 Days, the Crown of Nyaxia series, which is Surfing the Wings of Night, Six Scorched Roses, and The Ashes of the Star-Cursed King.
Thank you all so much for listening to us today, and be sure to check us out on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Any books we discussed will be on our website, and sign up for our newsletter if you want to stay up to date with our releases.
And finally, if you're a fan of this podcast and want to show us some love, please subscribe and share it with everyone.
Please. That's all for today. I'm your co-host, Stephanie.
And I'm Bekk.
And this has been S&B Monthly. See you in the next chapter.